Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of MTG Study Hall. I am Brett, and I am joined, as always, by Lily and JC. We've got a great show ahead for you tonight, or this morning, or whenever you're watching. I'm not in charge of you. Before that, I have a little bit of bookkeeping to take care of. You want to support and check us out, liking us on Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, all of those at /TCG University. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. 5-star ratings, telling people about us. It's very helpful. All that standard stuff. We have our Patreon junior or higher sponsors: Addie, Andrew Dang, Anthony Albano, Bryce Rassak, Clay Cardwell, Jacob Arson Masur, Jay Rogers, Jesse Servin, Jesse Morrison, Jesse Nix, Justin Farce, Kat Maria, Kevin Broberg, Kieran Vision, Kyle K, Lucinda Letica, Orlando Valde Santos, Paul Casagrande, Ransom MacArthur, Samantha Stevens, the baddest bitch around, Sean O'Brien, Timothy Freelieb, Tamers Evolution TCG, and Tyler Zane Pease. Also, a quick shout out to our sponsors: Nuclear Ink Custom Tattoo and Skate Shop, Red Riot Games, Cards Custom Build, Inked Gaming Decks Protection. There will be more on those later. Now, very briefly, before we launch into the show, I just wanted to do a general announcement for everybody. Not this episode, but our next episode, which is going to air live Thursday, June 6th, and then will be up on YouTube later on.
June 3rd.
June 3rd, excuse me. Which will air live Thursday, June 3rd, is going to be our last, at least in the foreseeable future. We're going to be going on an extended hiatus. Scheduling and post-COVID stuff's kind of messing stuff around. So you got us this time, you got us in 2 weeks, and then it will be a goodbye, at least for a time. So I just wanted to make sure I threw that out at the beginning of the show. And yeah, we'll deal with talking about that in 2 weeks. So we're going to just launch right into it. JC, what have you been doing in Magic the past 2 weeks?
I got some Secret Lair in, and I'm really happy about that, because these cards are fracking beautiful. Like, look at that.
That's the Fairies one?
Yeah, so I got the Foil Fairy Rat, and I also got the Crushing Disparity, or the Eternal Disparity, whatever it is, of basic lands.
Yeah.
So those ended up real pretty. I'm actually really liking the Secret Lair, like, quite a bit. I like the various pop, punk, almost like 90s Nickelodeon show Ninja Turtle like kind of art that they can have on there. I'm excited to get like the movie posters and stuff like that. So that's good. I bought a number of an amount of the new set, and I bought a commander deck and kind of playing around with that a little bit.
Commander Precons? Which one did you get?
I got the Inkwell one on the black and white one.
Yeah. Silverquill. Guild one.
Golly, words.
Not guild, school, whatever.
Silverquill School, yep. So that's the one I got.
College.
The College of Silverquill, so, you know. And
school is called Strixhaven, right?
But yeah.
I wouldn't know. I haven't played it.
But yeah, so that's me. I've been thinking about building a bit of a modern deck. I've played a kind of cats and then tokens of cats and then so many cats in like a weird standard deck that I'm thinking about building into modern. I think I can
Pioneer.
Build that pretty good, or build it into Pioneer rather.
Yeah, do Pioneer. That's the I actually have Pioneer decks.
Yep. So building that into Pioneer, and also there's just been Strixhaven has an amount of owl and kind of bird support, so I've been wanting to build like a bird commander deck for a while. So I'm thinking about doing that as well. So that's me. I've been buying stuff and planning for in-person play again.
Alrighty, Lily, what have you been up to?
Oh god, accepting my vile fate that I will just continue to make new commander decks forever. I've actually been updating my stuff, and I had a mind to take apart a couple that seemed similar to some other ones I wanted to build, but then it was revealed to me through playing them that they do not play similarly at all, and now I have no real justification to take anything apart and just continually update everything forever. And I'm at 17 again.
Easy, Josie.
They're all up to date. They're all untapped out. They're all I go over sets when they come out in order, do an order or two. I don't know. It's cool.
And soon we'll be able to play in person. I've got to play a little commander in person. That's really the only Magic I've done. I finally got that. I should know the name of my commander, but it's only ever on the spell side. So the Blood Avatar sorcery that also happens to have a white-black creature on the front that I have not cast one time. I have not ever cast the creature side in like 4 or 5 games now. Really like the deck. Mardu's my favorite color. Having a spell that you can cast multiple times that is also an edict that makes a huge creature is in the command zone is sweet, and I'm loving that deck. Other than that, I've finally gotten some of the secret layers I ordered in as well. I ordered the lands one, and then I got the one that had all of the Titans except Sun Titan. So I got that one because I like those cards. I didn't have an Uro, and I like the Croxa art, and it never hurts to have more Inferno and honestly, Sun Titan's probably the Titan I run in most of my decks, so I really would have liked a Sun Titan. But
I really like getting the styles to use in Arena from finding the secret layers. That's like half the reason I buy the damn secret layers is so that I can use them in Arena.
No, it's a big selling point for me as well. So yeah, that's me. And so, getting into the first topic here, I need to pull this stuff up. So, we've gotten some spoilers. So, as is tradition, we're just going to talk about new Magic cards because they come out constantly. And our show is spaced out enough now that we can normally have a chunk of cards to talk about. And honestly, I'm really excited. We're going to talk about Modern Horizons 2 and the new D&D set. So let me see. We got the D&D stuff in first, or Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. So first up, we have Drizzt. We have Drizzt Do'Urden as a Magic the Gathering card. I will have. Sorry, Lily, but I was right.
Yeah.
Drizzt is not black aligned. So Drizzt is a 3/3 for 1 green, 1 white, and 3. A legendary creature, Elf Ranger with double strike because rapiers, 2 rapiers, obviously. So when Drizzt ETBs, you create a legendary 4/1 green cat creature token. I think it's like pronounced similar to Guinevere or Guinevere. Guinevere with trample. So that's a 4/1 with trample. And then whenever a creature dies, any creature, if it had power greater than Drizzt's power, put a number of 1/1 counters on Drizzt equal to the difference. So like, yeah,
I like that for a lot of reasons. One, I really like White's focus on counters recently. I enjoy that quite a bit, and I hope it's a thing that White continues to do. Also, I think it speaks to like Drizzt's ferocity, like fighting like 1,000 orcs and stuff like that, just like fighting through like multiple enemies, and he just continues to get stronger. I'm actually like really a fan that they did the card justice. I'm happy with it.
No, I don't think it's like, I think he fights a thing that's bigger than him. He levels up. I think it's a D&D joke.
I think that's there to it, but I haven't read a ton of those books, but I've read the first 3 Drizzt books. So like, I think it's got the D&D level up thing, but like Drizzt also does ridiculous things throughout the series, and so like if you can keep him around, he'll get big and ridiculous. And like the double strike is really like this card has made me really excited, like even more excited for the set, and I was already excited. And like from the few spoilers we've seen, I don't think this is going to be a wildly complicated set. It's not a core set, but it's in that core set slot. Right. So I'm not foreseeing this being a crazy multi-keyword like nonsense set like Modern Horizons 2, obviously, but those are very different things. But nothing on here is too crazy, but I think it does a really good job of like representing Drizzt from the books, from D&D, from getting some of those D&D mechanics in here. And like this card puts down 7 power for 5, and if you could say 10 like double strike, if you get the double strike, it's 10 power.
Right. Yeah, it's 10. Yeah, 10 power.
Yeah, that also gets bigger. The cat having trample means that like, yeah, it's going to die, but you're going to get some value out of it, even if they just chump it. Like,
and a plus and counter on Drizzt.
Yeah, no, this card is sweet. Also, again, it's other creatures, so like if you can run some kill spells, you can just kill their stuff and make him huge. Like, I'm such a huge fan of this card. It's such a good representation of the character.
Agreed.
Very happy. We got it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I really like the alternate art for it too. I like a lot of the alt art from this set, like the D&D kind of sketch work. It's cool.
Yeah, the D&D like page stuff is gonna be real nice to get in the decks. We have 2 other cards.
Can I talk about Law?
I was gonna save Law for last.
Okay.
So we have Raynor Battlehammer. He's a 5/3 for 1 red, 1 white, and 2. He's a dwarf warrior legendary creature. He's an uncommon. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it, and then you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn. I like equipment. I like dwarves. It checks a lot of boxes. Yeah, hard to go wrong.
And it's pretty quick. Costs are cool.
Yeah, no, it's fun with some of those crazy equipment, like the one hammer that's like 8 to equip. It's like +13/+13 or whatever it is. Maybe it's not 13. It's still huge. Like, no, this card's nice. It's already, there's definitely a deck. It's like I have a pretty standard red white equipment commander deck put together. It goes into it. It's what you want. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing crazy to say on this one. I didn't get far enough into the books to like speak to how well this represents the character. I think it's a plus.
So
I think it's good.
Yeah, speaking to, I did get this far in the books, and I like this card as well, and I think they definitely did it justice, and I am cheerfully, excitedly waiting for like a Caddy Bree card.
Oh, there's going to be a Caddy Bree card. I would bet money. I would bet a lot of money. You don't not put the main characters from the books in. There's just so... This set is going to print money. This set is going to do so well. Really quick, before we get to the last card, did we talk about Tiamat last time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got Tiamat as a legendary god, a dragon god.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this is interesting. So, Lily, I've got Loth pulled up. I can read Loth, or if you'd like to...
better too.
You go ahead. I've been doing a lot of talking.
All right, we got Loth, Spider Queen, who is a planeswalker, which is an interesting way to do a god. She costs double black and 3 for 5 mana total. She's got a few abilities. She's got a triggered ability of whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on her. She has a 0 to draw a card and lose 1 life. A -3 to create 2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. And then a -8 to get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference.
Okay, first important question. Again, not an expert on Loth. Is like 8 her special numbers, or is it literally just she's a spider, 8 legs, 8?
I mean, it could be both. I don't know if that's like a thing, but I feel like it's just lol 8.
Lol 8.
Right. But no, I think it's I don't think it's like I think it's like a poison thing maybe.
I admit I don't know as much about Loth as I wish I did.
I just like spider ladies.
I mean, yeah.
I'm excited to see it though. Like one of the coolest things I saw at Gen Con a couple years ago was just like walking in and seeing a giant Loth statue that they just had like put up, and like such a iconic character. So I'm really excited to see it.
And Lily mentioned it's Planeswalk. So this is officially the Adventures in Forgotten Realms is not canon to Forgotten Realms or to Magic. So they've thrown that out there, which is fine. I think it's not the boldest choice, but I think it's a safe choice.
Mm-hmm.
So we aren't going to see Chandra or Jace in the Forgotten Realms. So if this is in the core set slot, we can expect 5 to 6 Planeswalkers, probably 5 monocolored walkers, maybe 1 more.
Right.
And so yeah, Loth's a little bit strange. We have 2 gods. We have Tiamat and Loth, and one's a creature, one's a Planeswalker. So it really seems like they're kind of just doing what they want.
Maybe, but there could be a rhyme or reason to it. Tiamat's trapped in hell, isn't she?
Yeah, so actually, Kat made this point to me earlier. So, Tiamat is imprisoned in the 9 hells, I think. So, and Loth is not. So, basically, in D&D, anyone who can get to 9th level casting can cast Gate. So planeswalking in D&D is not as impressive as it is in Magic. Right. I mean, it's still not a ton of people who can cast 9th level spells, but...
Probably a similar percentage.
Yeah, honestly, that's fair. People. But you can't learn to be a planeswalker, and hypothetically, you could eventually learn to cast that kind of magic if you're...
In Magic's lore, that was the case before the mending.
That's okay, that's also true. But
and evidently is the case after the mending, given that we have... Vorinclex on,
Call time.
Yeah.
So fair, but so I think now there could be some deeper meaning to this. My guess is they're just going to probably pick 5 monocolor big names. We might see. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Mordenkainen.
Right.
What's
Tasha.
Yeah, Tasha would not be surprising. We have art that is probably human form Bahamut, which could go either
Right.
way, which also could be a flip creature planeswalker. They've done it before. I don't know if they're good. I think they said no dual face cards in this, but that's a possibility. Or
Yeah.
maybe just like a human planeswalker Bahamut.
Well, so what they were originally going to do is they were going to have Strixhaven, its thing, be the Moodle dual face cards. But
Then
I guess it
Innistrad,
just
I
ended
think.
up being too much for the design. So they took those ones that were planned for Strixhaven and spread them among Zendikar and Magic. It's called
Call
time.
time.
There you go. I don't know what that name evades me, but here we are.
And I mean, I think one of the reasons given for that was because they're doing 2 Innistrad sets in a row, so there's just an upper limit of they want to keep standard a certain size, and when you have dual face cards, you're kind of adding even more cards to keep track of.
Yeah.
So, like, I get the logic. So, there was also Cat. What's that one Archmage? There's a few characters that might make it. I don't actually know a ton about Forgotten Realms. Cat was throwing out some Elminster. Could be Armano Blue Planeswalker. Yeah, I think we're going to get big name.
Elminster would be he's so fracking powerful in the stories. Like seeing him in a card would be like Khadgar OP. Like Elminster's cool.
That's the beauty of the Planeswalker card, though, because you can have someone who's wildly powerful, and it's like when you summon Teferi, you aren't getting Teferi's 100%. You're getting what you can like bribe Teferi to do for you, or Teferi's willing. So like that's why I think they're going to do exactly what I'm hoping, which they're just going to put big name characters that we go they're complete. You know the one meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where it's just the pointing at the screen. Like I know that one. That is I think 100% of the strategy of this set. You're just supposed to go like there, that one.
I do like this exploring the space of what the Planeswalker card could represent.
And let's be totally honest, this is the future, at least, of the... I don't think it's going to be on just like the straight Magic releases, but when we're getting...
Gandalf is going to be a Planeswalker.
Yeah, Gandalf is going to be a Planeswalker. If we get... Like, they're doing the 40k one. If we have Reboot Gilliman, Gilliman's going to be a walker. If they do the God Emperor of Mankind in 40k would be a walker. So all of the universes beyond... All the universes beyond stuff, they're going to have Planeswalkers in those sets.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna have Sauron's probably gonna be a walker in the Lord of the Rings set.
Well, like, so I'm curious though, like, why necessarily do you say that though? Because like, I can think of plenty of powerful people in the Magic lore and universe who are not necessarily planeswalkers. So like, Power isn't one of them, and like, Gandalf, for instance, doesn't. Well, I guess he does come back as like Gandalf the White, so he does kind of transcend the plane. But
here's my thought as to why. It is, and it's a
Tom Bombadil Planeswalker.
What was that?
The reason Tom Bombadil Planeswalker, which would be appropriate.
Tom Bombadil.
The reason why there's going to be Planeswalkers is it's one of the main 7 card types, even though there is a tribal card in Modern Horizons too. But
well, I get that. But like, I guess what I'm saying is like, you can make Bilbo the, you know,
you
could.
Like, I mean, I think they're just going to. Now, I think they'll probably lean towards powerful characters, but, like, it's the most popular card type. They're going to make them in the Universe Beyond sets.
Okay, here's my thought on this. I don't think they're going to make anything a Planeswalker that wouldn't make sense to interpret as a card type. Like, Reboot Gilliman, right? I don't think that he's going to be a Planeswalker. I think the God Emperor... Yeah, okay. So let's take us in, like, let's look at 40k, right? The Chaos Gods represented as Planeswalker, I could see. Powerful Psychers, I could see represented as Planeswalkers, like the God Emperor. But, like, I don't necessarily think they're just going to do it haphazardly. Like Lord of the Rings, for example. Gandalf, maybe. Like I said jokingly, but, like, really, Tom Bombadil, maybe, you know, like, some of the elves. But I don't think they would make, like...
is a pick.
Yeah, sure, but I don't think they would make, like, Aragorn a Planeswalker. And I'd say Aragorn is probably as important to Lord of the Rings as Remove Gilliman is to 40k.
Okay. I agree with the Aragorn thing. Like, Drizzt is an intense badass warrior.
Right.
So yeah, Aragorn fight. Yeah, I could see it being more mystic, more ancient, more powerful spellcasters. I don't think you appreciate how bullshit OP the Primarchs in 40k are.
Okay. I do know that there is a lot more of the lore in that universe than just the Space Marines, even though they are the focus of the company.
But there's going to be a Space Marine deck, at least one.
Sure. And the God Emperor is the Planeswalker that goes with that.
But again, I feel like God Emperor on the Golden Throne is a cool Planeswalker, but I don't know. The Primarchs are ridiculous. The Primarchs are as ridiculous as Space Marines are ridiculous to normal people. I don't want to. Yeah. We don't. This is not the. As much as I would love it, actually more than anything, to turn this into a 20-minute debate about 40
Kenobi.
I'd love to talk about 40k for 20 minutes of 40k lore, but I'm just saying I don't think Reboot's out of the question. But yeah, I think you're generally right in that Bilbo, like the Fellowship, will be cards.
Right. Badass they'll be creature cards.
Yes, badass spellcasters. I mean, you can even do if you don't, and that's the thing. You don't want to touch Sauron. Saruman could be a walker. I mean, again, I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings buff, but like wizards are like weird angels in 40k, sent by like the even more powerful gods. So like
Lord of the Rings.
Did I say 40k Lord in Heaven? Yeah. In Lord of the Rings, yeah, the wizards are like weird angel creatures. So I'm just saying. I think we are going to see things that aren't necessarily something that can... I don't think being an interdimensional or interplanar traveler is going to be the deciding factor of if you get a Planeswalker card.
Okay, but like even in just 40k, you've got so many of those to pick from in just 40k.
But like if I was designing the 40k decks and they decided to do a Walker per each deck, which the 40k they don't have to because those are commander decks and not a set. But
the God Emperor, you have a Catan. You have
I would
go ahead, sorry.
You could do Gork or Mork or Gork and Mork for the orcs. That was a sentence. I wouldn't be surprised if like the Tyranid Hive Mind or some kind of representative or like Hive Fleet Behemoth's Hive Mind, you'd have to give it a better name than that. Like a Hive Mind you could make a Planeswalker. The Eldar have some weird shit.
Yeah. The old gods, like the Eldar gods.
But like Yvrain is I wouldn't again, Yvrain is like a really powerful Eldar who helped revive Reboot. But like I wouldn't be shocked if Yvrain was a walker. I'm just saying there are some options. I think it might not just be wildly powerful wizards. Like if they did a Star Trek set, Jean-Luc Picard could be a walker. I wouldn't be shocked if he was.
I mean,
you have enough godlike entities in Star Trek to make a cast of walkers off shit that just people would know.
That's true. Q is a walker. I would pay so much money for a Star Trek set. I'd pay so much money.
All you need are like 3 or 4.
Well, anywho, shall we talk about
that
Horizons?
was a tangent. But yeah, Loth is she's a walker, and I'm very interested to see who the remaining 4 to 5 walkers in this set are.
All right, let's try to call them, because this is clearly a cycle of monocolors, right? Our white one's going to be Bahamut.
I make an argument for Catterley, but that's me.
Okay.
I think the blue one is Mordenkainen or that one other wizard.
I think it'd be Mordenkainen, because I could see Tasha being red.
But
Tasha's a little more mad science-y.
Again, I don't know about Forgotten Realms. Apparently that guy who starts with an E, who I'm totally blanking, is way more Archmage-y than like Mordenkainen is. So
yeah, but like Mordenkainen is the one that everybody fucking knows. They have one of the books in 5th edition is Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
No, I mean I'm with you. I just want to represent Kat, who's way more D&D nerdy than I am. I'm just throwing that out there. I think we're going to see a Mordenkainen walker. I'm trying to. That's my. So I don't know green. I don't know the Forgotten Realms.
One of the elf god, like Corellian, whatever, like the androgynous hot one. That one.
That's fair.
Oh, and okay, Catherine chat. Cat's argument is that Mordenkainen is more blue-black than mono-blue.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a nerd, so I don't
Elminster
know.
is the archetypal like Archmage, uncolored Archmage. He basically masters everything. He's like a 20th level wizard. He's stupid.
Yeah, like, I would expect at least a ridiculous wizard from the cast of Ridiculous Wizards as our mono-blue walker.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see multicolor walkers in your cat. I think we see one.
I would expect that one is possible.
I think it might be Bahamut to mirror Tiamat. I think we could see a 5-color Bahamut to mirror Tiamat.
That's fair. I think
that'd be interesting. So, okay, we have an entire other set of cards to talk about, so we're going to keep moving on. So that's the Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, but also we got some of our first Modern Horizons previews. So we got, I'm so excited about this. So we got a Dakon Planeswalker. We have Dakon Shadow Slayer with art by the original artist of the Legends, Dakon Blackblade.
Was he a Planeswalker?
At one point in the story, yes, he was.
Oh, okay. Today I learned.
So he is an Esper Planeswalker. With
the
zero
card was Esper.
Yes, with 0 loyalty. Now the original Dakon like cost 5 or 6 or something, and his power and toughness 7. Okay, and his power and toughness was equal to the number of lands you control. That's not really a black effect. So the Planeswalker, when he ETBs, you get loyalty equal to the number of lands you control. +1, you surveil 2. Surveilling is looking at, it's like scrying, but instead of bottoming it, you discard it. So you look at the top 2 cards of your library, put them back in any order, or put either or both of them in the graveyard.
Is that what we're calling it when you scry and you put it on the bottom?
I mean, that's...
Okay.
That's what... I didn't invent that. Other people say it.
All right. So, worth noting here, this is our third reference to Dakon. We had the original, of course, which isn't a reference to anything.
Except some random
D&D character.
Yeah.
So we have Dakon, and then in Future Sight we had Corlash, heir to Blackblade, who was his power type is equal number of swamps you control.
And then to be fair, we also had Blackblade Reforged, his sword, and Dominaria.
That's the second reference. This is the third reference to the original.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were counting Dakon as one of the 3. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No,
No, fair. So yeah,
sorry, you were explaining the card.
Yes, and then -3, we exile target creature. -6, you may put an artifact card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. I watched the weekly MTG video where they talk about these. Again, I don't know a ton about Dakon. He apparently cares about equipment, so they made an artifact so it was a little broader than just equipment. But no, I really like this walker. I really like how it scales. If you're playing some kind of weird late game control deck, you can plop them down with 7, 8 loyalty and like -2 turns in a row and just rip their board up.
Surveil still only costs 3 when you do that.
Yeah. So even if you have 12 lands, he comes out with 12 loyalty. He only costs 3.
Like
no matter what.
Turn 5, removal something, and then have counter backup. Like
yeah, literally. Yeah, literally counterspell, because we do know from a previous announcement that counterspell's in the set. So there's a cool card. And Surveil 2 is not draw a card, but it's damn close to drawing a card. It's not card advantage, but it is really good selection. It plays well with the ultimate, and it plays well with a lot of powerful graveyard things. So like this for me feels like a really good like modern focused walker. Like it's not too like Renin 6 was probably too good. I don't think Dakon isn't going to ruin Legacy. But this feels like a good non-standard set walker power level to me. I think they really hit the nail on the head with Dakon. Also, I'm sorry, I don't know what art JC has pulled up. Yeah, JC has that artist, the Richard Ferguson. He did the OG Dakon Blackblade, so that's just a really cool thing they did. I'm really glad they did that.
So here's a weird thing that I realized: Renin 6 only came out 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I thought Renin 6 is older than that. Like,
Renin 6 kind of feels like an old, like a pre-mending walker, just in like the flavor of it all. So maybe it's that. Like,
no, I like it's definitely because of the impact of the formats that is legal in. Or they
yeah,
in, I guess.
Ren. I think she.
Well, Ren, but there's 2 characters.
Oh. Well, I would also not be surprised if in the start we've got Renin 7 or Renin 8. I think we might be onto a new Tree Folk.
I think she goes through them faster than that, probably.
I would be
Ouch.
hilarious if it's like Renin 32. Just like, what happened these
I will
past 2 years?
say a double-digit number, like Renin 6, like feels like coherent as a name, but like Renin 7, Renin 8, you would need to go into double digits to get something that like sounds as coherent.
Yeah, no, I'm quite curious. Moving on because we got like 9 cards to talk about. We have Thrasta Tempest's Roar.
Oh my lord, what the fuck is this card?
I'm so excited. I am so excited. Thrasta's Tempest's Roar. Jason, I don't know if you've seen this. Is a legendary dinosaur. It's a 7/7 for 12, 10 and 2 green. There's it costs 3 less for each other spell you cast this turn. It has trample, haste, trample over planeswalkers, which does exactly what you think it does. And then it has hexproof on the turn it enters the battlefield. So it's a mono green storm payoff. I'm building this commander. I'm building mono green commander storm.
He's so good. Or it.
It is worth mentioning that the reduction in cost is for each other spellcast this turn, period. So if you have a way to give it flash, you can take advantage for your opponent having a really good turn. And then not take advantage of haste or hexproof.
Oh man. I like Storm in theory, but the problem with Storm and Commander is like I don't like playing combo decks that much. So like having something that wants me to storm a little bit and then like do some damage, and then if it dies, if I storm more, we'll kill the command tax. Like this is a great commander, and apparently it's functioning in the modern storm deck. So, or at least in some of the archetypes. Side note: from the weekly MTG video, they got multiple high level like Magic players from in house. They also got Brian Bromduin, Sam Black, I think I'm trying to remember. This is all off the top of my head, and Brad Nelson in to test these cards in modern.
God, I hope so.
So as to prevent the Hogak 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Or Renin 6.
Or Renin 6. Sorry, I'm just. Let me know if anyone has something else they want to throw down. I'm just going to try to run through some of the cards.
No, you're good. I'm really a fan of Profane Tutor.
Yeah!
It is a black sorcery with no mana cost. It suspend 2 for 1 black and 1. So 2 turns and the price of Demonic Tutor. And it is the effect of Demonic Tutor. And I think that 9 out of 10 times, this is going to be better than Demonic Tutor, at least in Commander.
It's going to be real good. Also, we've had this is 1 card out of a 6-card cycle.
Ooh, are we going to have 5 colors suspend?
I don't know. What effect would if a Wooburn
Coalition
suspend? Ooh, that'd be interesting.
I
love suspend.
Yeah, Coalition Victory already costs 8, so if you make the suspend 5 in like 5 turns, it's probably fine.
And I'm just gonna throw this out there. They said there's at least 58 mechanics in this set. I love that it's a mix and match set. They've already told us they're going to be giving us stuff like that. I adore Suspend. Suspend is not wildly popular. It's probably not coming back to standard, but like Suspend is such a fun layer to the game of anticipating when stuff's going to come in. So like the fact that they're making at least 6 more Suspend cards is thrilling to me.
So this is a good way to have your whole table kill you in Commander.
Oh yeah. That the suspended commander can draw unintentional. Oh god, Ray just got excited because Ray has the stupid cascading sliver deck. So now there's going to be at least 5. There's going to be 6 more cards that Ray can just cascade. Goody.
Nice.
We're talking about grief. JC, I need you to put grief up really quick.
Real quick, I'm going to get my prediction in here. Our 5 colors suspend card is going to have epic.
Oh. If they brought back Epic's like my favorite mechanic.
Just one.
Yeah.
Just one on your 5 color suspend. You set it up, it's going to happen, and then you're not doing anything else.
I built a 5 color EDH deck because I adore Epic so much. Oh.
So, do you think, just a note on suspend real quick, do you think the word about like that's a good way to get everyone at the table to kill you. I mean, I feel like there's a number of escape cards too. So like I feel like there's going to be like kind of a lot of stuff that hangs out when we start playing Commander in person again. I don't know, but
yeah, no, I mean that's fair in that like when you do the escape cards or the Amonkhet ones that were like the spell and then graveyard spell.
Mm-hmm.
You giving your opponents knowing that like, oh, they're going to wheel or oh, they're going to do this is some good information. But I think the particular problem with this one is it's the mystery box problem. The reality is you're probably getting something decent, but everyone is going to expect you to get the perfect silver bullet to ruin them. So I think this is going to maybe draw more hate than it deserves.
That's true.
Well, I also think it's really good. So one of the reasons I think it's better than Demonic, right? If you're setting up for it, like you play it turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, you get the thing turn 5, 6, 7, and then you can immediately cast it.
To be fair, I think it's hard to say it's better than Demonic because, yeah, you untap with it on turn 4 if you do this and you get it, but like also if you just Demonic on turn 2, you also untap with the card you tutored out on turn 4 and turn 5 and turn 6. Like, yeah, it's
true.
Protected from the graveyard. I think it's nice. I think it's good that I actually kind of like it more for Commander because I think it's better in some ways. It's worse in some ways. It'll be cheaper. And it also gives people a chance. So it's not like, oh, I go get my perfect silver bullet. It's like, I like the politics of it because then it kind of puts the, oh, are you going to overextend? Because then I'll go get a tutor in 2 turns. Oh, you're going to play a really good thing? Spot removal. So I like the mind games already. I'm excited for this card.
Agree.
I'm excited for the cycle. Grief is our next card, and the reason why our title has anything to do with dabbing, because I will admit the normal non-extended version of Grief does look, it's like at least 80% of a dab.
To be fair, I also think the dabbing references the esports stuff that we're going to talk about too.
Because it's called Grief?
Oh my gosh, now I just want Grief altered to be dabbing more. Just like the head down.
Like,
anyway,
you can't make a card called Grief and have the art look even close to dabbing and not expect people to draw that comparison.
Yeah, that's you get what you pay for there. Grief is a 3/2 for 2 black and 2 with Menace, but you're probably not going to be playing 4 for this card because when Grief enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, and that player discards that card. The evoke's cost, and evoke means that you pay an alternative cost. The creature enters the battlefield, and then you sacrifice it, is exile a black card from your hand. This is a callback to another card that costs 4 mana. It is a sorcery, and it's something? Unmask? Unmake? Maybe I'm wrong on that. It's definitely a callback to an older card that just did the sorcery effect, and it was 4
Yeah, that's Unmasked.
Unmasked. So it's referencing Unmasked, but it's also 3/2 with Menace, and so I think apparently even in the stream they brought this up, like, if you ephemerate this thing, so like turn 1, you can cast Grief, respond to the evoke trigger, ephemerate it, get it again, pull a different card out of their hand, and then target Grief on your second turn with your rebounding ephemerate. That seems really good.
Context. For those that don't know, with Evoke, because it's been, 20, 15 years since...
20, Lorwyn.
Lorwyn was like 15 years ago, Brett.
Yeah, about 14 or 15. It was around Burning Crusade.
Same year as Burning Crusade, more or less, give or take. Anyway, so Evoke is a trigger that happens when it enters the battlefield that you can respond to by doing things with it. So if you don't do anything when the trigger resolves, you'll sacrifice it. But if you return it to your hand or sacrifice it to something else or flicker it like with Ephemerate, that'll happen before you would sacrifice it. And since with Ephemerate, it's treated as when something changes zones, it's treated as a new object. When the creature comes back, the original sacrifice trigger doesn't find it because it's looking for that Grief that would have left the battlefield. On top of that, this one, it doesn't re-trigger the evoke because you didn't pay the evoke cost for the one that just now entered the battlefield.
It's real nuts.
It's very good. On top of that, even if it was just remove the last line, remove evoke, that's borderline playable in a number of formats.
Yeah. That's a really solid ETB, and like a 3-2 with Menace isn't great, but it's not bad. I'm gonna have to burn through these last cards because
Yeah.
we have another topic we have to talk about. So okay, really quick, we have Unmarked Grave, which is
Worse Entomb.
Worse Entomb. It's Entomb, but you get a non-legendary card and you put it into your graveyard, and they did that so you just didn't always go get Grizzlebrand. So it's Worse Entomb. Timeless Dragon is a really fun callback to Eternal Dragon. It is a dragon with planes. It's a 5/5 for 5 with flying. It has plane cycling too, like Eternal Dragon, but then it has Eternalize. That's the joke. Eternal Dragon, Eternalize. That's the joke. That's why they made the card. So you can pay 4 and Eternalize, which means you exile it from your yard and you make a 4/4 black zombie dragon token. You make a 4/4 version of the card. So it's a 5/5 for 5 if you need it. It's cycle. You can plane cycle it and then Eternalize it. It's cute. I think it's pretty solid. I'm excited for it in Commander. Overall, nice card, and it's completely a meme card.
I don't think it's bad.
I think it's bad, but it's cut from a joke, which is fine. That's half what I expect from this set. We have Rashad Dockhand, which is a 1/2 Merfolk for 1 with Island Walk, and then 1 and tap target land. It's Rashad and Port, but on a Merfolk.
Which is good.
Yeah, Merfolk didn't have a good 1-drop. Yeah. Rashad and Port's real good. That seems really good. We have Flametongue Yearling, which is a 2/1 for 2 red. Kavu, with multi-kicker 2. It enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter each time it was multi-kicked. And then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature when it enters the battlefield. It's a baby Flametongue Kavu that can also be bigger than Flametongue Kavu. And they specifically said to target creature, not other target creatures. So if it's the only creature, it kills itself, just like Flametongue Kavu. And they did that because nostalgia. So like it's fun to know that they're making cards based on like it's worse because of nostalgia, but I'm okay with that.
I think that's pretty good red card, though. I think it's definitely playable.
Oh, I mean, a 2/1 for 2 that just kills an opponent's creature.
Yeah,
seems good. And then
maybe also, if it were a goblin,
it's the fact that it scales. I don't know. Maybe I can't speak to Modern, but that card seems pretty damn solid. Then we have some weird commander card here. We have Siri Fortune's Flame, which is a 2/3 flying Efreet for 1 red, 1 blue, and 1. When the card attacks, you choose a number between 1 and 5 and flip that many coins. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, it deals 2 damage to you. And if you win all 5 of your flips, you may cast spells from your hands without paying their mana cost this turn. Which is...
like, if you get that, like, even the Kark's Thumb, it's still, like, even if you turn 3 this, turn 4 Kark's Thumb, it's still, like, only a 25% chance of getting Omniscience for the turn.
But... the dream.
You deserve it. Like if you flip 5 coins and you don't take 10 damage, on top of that, you've just drawn 5 cards.
Yeah. No, it's such a sweet card. It's probably not wildly Modern playable, but it sounds fun as hell.
I mean, we didn't probably need another red-blue coin flip commander, but here we are.
There's someone at home yelling at the screen in disagreement. There are people who are satisfied by this, and more power to them.
Quick side note. Do judges carry around coins just in case you need a coin flip situation and nobody has a coin on them?
I don't think you have to. I imagine a judge could drum one up. You're also allowed to roll die. If you're running, you are. Per tournament rules, you can use. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, per official tournament rules, you are allowed to roll die because they did it on the Star City Opens.
That makes sense.
Okay.
You are allowed to approximate a 50-50 chance thing using another tool, I believe is the ruling. I could be wrong with my understanding, and I've seen Tournament Magic where they roll die. Just evens odds. Cool. For JC, on that one, I would expect it to be probably a general expectation for you to be in charge of representing your own board state. But at the same time, if you just no one around you had a coin, I feel like a judge could handle it.
Yeah.
And then in brief, Cabal Coffers is reprinted at Mythic. Anyone who thought it was going to be reprinted at its original Uncommon, you were smoking crack. You are wrong.
Was it Uncommon?
Yeah, originally Cabal Coffers was an Uncommon. And someone on Reddit... some people on Reddit were like, there'll be an Uncommon again. It's like, you're an idiot if you think that. I'm sorry, but wrong. And it's a Mythic, obviously, because money. And because things like Tarmogoyf and other things like that. So yeah, Coffers is in Modern. This has been a card that has been in desperate need of a reprint. So good. Yep.
Also, Don Hazeltine, nice art. I like it.
Oh, Oh yeah, we have the OG art, and then we have the full extended art, which is gorgeous. So the Hazeltine's the original one. There's also Anastasia O something, which is also a new gorgeous all art that also has the Mirari in it. Very nice. I'm a huge fan. And then they also let us know that the collector boosters of the set will have a slot that is they're taking old school, not old school. They're taking good cards from Modern Horizons 1 and putting them in the old school border. So we have Force of Negation and Giver of Runes with the old border. I will bet anyone any amount of money that Urza will also be on that list. So, because they have old bordered Yawgmoth, I bet we'll get old bordered Urza, because people want that. So, sorry I had to race through those, but yeah.
I mean, they're cards nobody cares about.
Any final thoughts before we move on? I just want to make sure we have time for our final topic. So I wanted to, because we spent a long time arguing about Planeswalkers.
I like the art and border treatment. I like seeing a set where we get old art, we get old borders, we get new borders, we get full arts, and we get alternate arts that are like sketchy and stuff like that. I'm excited for it. I like it.
No, it's more of the good stuff they're doing. It's the more borders you put out there, the happier specific niche collectors are, and the more it runs down the cost of the standard cards. Everybody wins. And that's the thing. The cards we've seen so far are excellent cards. If you're going to charge $7+ for a standard pack, there better be the value there, and doing things like reprinting Cabal coffers bodes really well. These cards seem sweet. Yeah, I'm very excited for the set. Modern Horizons 1 kicked ass. It was a Commander player's dream. It did ruin Modern a little bit, but who actually plays Modern? So, and it sounds like they're taking effort to not ruin Modern. So if they don't ruin Modern, and we all get sweet cards, everybody wins. So nice. We're going to take a quick moment to pause for a commercial break that's super on time, and then we'll be back.
Hi, and welcome to the ads. This week we are brought to you by Cards Custom Builds. Are you into cosplay? Are you looking to get into cosplay? In the future, do you want to show up at your favorite event dressed up as your favorite character? Well, then Card Custom Builds is here to help. Cards Custom Builds creates everything from props and trinkets and weaponries all the way up to full costumes. I've seen some of the costumes that they made. They are all fantastic. They're really good stuff. If you would like to get some awesome things for your cosplay or just cool stuff to have around, if you want to throw a Halloween party at the end of the year and be like the talk of your Halloween party, please go check out Cards Custom Builds over at Facebook and tell them about TCG University. Say that we sent you and you'll get 5% off your entire order. Please do this. They do a bunch of things over there. Clay is making a lot of really cool stuff. He makes coasters too. If you want to go get coasters, I think he's selling them on Etsy and on Facebook. So please, if you want to get some cool stuff for your cosplay or for anything, go check out Cards Custom Builds and tell them that we sent you. This week, we are also brought to you by Dex Protections. Dex Protections is in a never-ending pursuit to create the highest quality storage and protection accessories. Their designs and innovation come from die-hard gamers and collectors just like you, so you know that what they make is stuff that you will want to buy, because they are also making stuff that they would want to buy. They are on a never-ending pursuit to create the best product, and that is why they are the leader in the industry in creating accessories for your deck products. Please, if you would like to go get some new stuff for when we're finally able to go out into public and go to tournaments and stuff, go to Deck Protections, and there'll be a link down in the description down below for that. Please go check them out. We are also brought to you this week by Red Riot Games. They are a Canada-based online seller of things like Universes, MTG, and Pokemon. They're friends of the show. We like them a whole lot. Please, 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 please go to redriotgames.ca and check out all their singles there. And when you check out, use creator code TCGU to help support the show and help support them. It would be greatly appreciated. We like them a whole lot, and we would love it if you would use them to buy some singles for any upcoming tournaments that you might have towards the end of the year. Lastly, we are brought to you by Nuclear Ink Custom Tattoo and Skate Shop. At Nuclear Ink, you will find a very inclusive environment with artists that share interest in nerd culture and fandoms alike. Nuclear Ink prides themselves on Omaha's premier all-custom tattoo shop. If you are in the area and looking to get a custom tattoo, please check out Nuclear Ink here in Omaha. Link in the description down below. They're cool guys. We like them a whole lot. Yeah, they're really awesome. Please, if you're in the Omaha area and you want to get a tattoo, please go check them out. Thank you. And we'll get back to the show.
Hello, everybody, and we are back. And yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised, but we spent a lot of time talking about new cards, which is kind of like what we do. But there was other stuff that happened, particularly Wizards gave us some info discussing their esports, and basically as COVID ends, hopefully, and we go back to more in-store play, they kind of gave us an update on what all of that looks like. And one of the big things they're saying is they're going to be kind of revamping how their esports system works. 2021, 2022 seasons are going to sunset the current system of play, is the marketing lingo they chose to use. They're scratching almost everything. We don't know what the future holds, but the future will not hold the Rivals League or the Magic Pro and Rivals League are going to be gone. And yeah, so I mean, a shocking turn of events. Wizards is yet again completely changing their high-tier tournament play stuff. They've done this a ton. I'm not shocked. A lot of this is news to me. There was quite a lot of people had takes on this. I didn't have that spicy of a take because I can't really follow where the things are recently.
Right.
I don't know when the last big tournament was. I don't know what the next big tournament is. I think I watched the last Worlds that happened, but like, I don't pay that much attention unless it's like, hey, turn into Twitch if you want to watch the World Championship. Yeah. So this is like, I don't know. I don't feel wildly strongly about this, but yeah, Wizards is scrapping it all again. Thoughts or additional info? Because I don't feel like I'm not doing the best job of giving everyone all the requisite info.
Like, the problem here fundamentally is that it's just kind of like they haven't given us much else besides that they're not doing the current thing anymore. And the current thing is being scrapped partially because nobody was really sure what the fuck was going on. You know what I did know what was going on, and you know what I did know where to watch, and you know what I did watch regularly? Channel Fireball.
Their coverage?
Yeah, when they had their stuff. When that was like the big thing. Like
Channel Fireball or Star City?
Or Star City Games. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, you're okay. You're okay. No, I was okay. That makes more sense because
Yeah, Star City.
Back in college, yeah, I watched. Yeah, when we lived together, we watched that every Sunday. That was
it was Saturdays too. Like we watched it on the weekends, just in general.
Yeah, no, I felt like a sports viewer because we'd always have a screen up of the Star City Games stuff, and Cedric Phillips tweeted that he basically saying he would run it if Wizards would let him. Cedric Phillips works for Star City Games. He's pretty high up over there, and he does a ton of commentating for them. He's also commentated for some of the Wizards World stuff. I would say Cedric Phillips is the best Magic commentator alive.
I'd agree with that.
And dead. I don't feel like there's a lot of better dead ones.
So
he's the best Magic commentator ever.
If I may, I think a lot of the controversy is around that Wizards canceled some of the pro events without announcing what new pro events would look like, and they clarified on their Twitter that we will not be explicitly the new system will not explicitly be designed to support competitive Magic as a career path. And also seeing some of the stuff that they've done with canceling streamers early access to cards and things of that nature worries a lot of like pro players from kind of what I've seen, that it could lead to a system where they reimagine focusing around different kinds of events and stuff like that, and that they're not actually like supporting like a pro like lifestyle or anything like that anymore in their upcoming work. So
I don't think being a professional full-time pro Magic player is that reasonable of like an expectation. Like, I'm not wildly upset to hear that. Like, I like the big names. I like being able to recognize people and see them. But like I know a good deal of pro players. I recognize faces and names. I've watched enough Worlds, but yeah, for me, I'm more concerned by like them messing with the streaming stuff than them messing with the pro plays. Like, it's a cool dream to have, and I think for a long early Magic, they were like, that's the dream. It's the, if you want to play Magic and make a job of it, you could do it and you could win all this money. And it's like, that's, I mean, what tiny percent of a percent would that actually affect of everyday normal Magic players? And B, I don't think that needs to be the draw of the game. Hey, you want to come play a game that's almost 30 years old that has a million cards and all sorts of things, and you can play it intensely or casually, and you can play cheaply, or you can spend a stupid amount of money and you can do this or you can do that. Like, I just don't think 1v1 competitive Magic and you'll be the best in the world is that big of a pull anymore.
Sure, I would agree with that, but that, like, I feel like dropping all support like that, all financial support for it, does create a situation where the only people that will get to that point are, you know, folks who can afford to, which already like undermines the dream more than anything ever could.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
I mean, oh, go ahead.
Like, so I think two other things that have like worlds and pro tournaments where you rise up through playing at conventions and playing at local tournaments and playing at regional tournaments and stuff like that. So like Smash Brothers or like, you know, other systems like that where the players you see highlighted aren't necessarily like, you know, any particular thing. It's just like who rises up, you know, through actually like playing really well, which I mean sounds like really like dream meritocracy, but like, you know.
Well, so I guess like my concern here is the only people that can afford to go to these tournaments and shit, like, you're never going to have a situation without support from the company for this, for folks who simply can't afford it. Because a lot of pros don't even buy their cards. Like, they borrow and, you know, like, buy and sell and just, like, churn things around to get decks that they need for events. Like that already is, like, that's fine. That's good. Like, you shouldn't have to shell out, like, $3,000 fucking dollars for what's worth, like, a modern deck.
Yeah. No.
Right. But like, you shouldn't have to do that anyway. But like, if you can't afford to take 2 weeks off of work, it no longer matters that you might be the best Magic player that exists if there's no kind of support from the company for that kind of stuff.
To be fair, Arena does open that a bit.
It does.
Now, it's not every format, because I know that you can Arena your way into the World Championship, and like I like that. And like we were talking about Star City's stuff, and Star City's circuit, particularly circa 2012 through 2014 or 15, which was really impressive.
Definitely
even
the heyday of it, I think.
But even that, you still had to be able, and that was like mostly like East Coast, and sometimes they'd swing West. You still had to be able to convention every other week to compete. So like Arena could and can be the great equalizer. Now, if you're going to make it to Worlds on Arena, I would hope that there's at least enough support for WOTC to say, we'll fly you down so you can play in our big tournament. So like, I think there's a certain amount of support that should be expected. And again, I can't speak to how much that's changing, because again, Wizards hasn't given us all the details and it's been hard to follow. So I don't know how it's shifted. I know that there was a long time where there was like the pros will get paid and we'll make sure you can be pros and we'll pay appearances. And honestly, I think that ended probably for the same reason that like the streamer started getting early access, and just the cold hard business facts is they didn't need it to make money. They realized we could spend $75,000 a year on making sure the pros have money, but it doesn't make more people play Magic. Or we can give the streamers all of the cards from Kaldheim before Kaldheim comes out, but that doesn't change viewership numbers or arena sales numbers, which I don't want to just be like, and because it doesn't make money, it's not worth it. But I can see why Wizards would drop that stuff if it's not doing anything. Both of those two things are effectively an advertisement budget. And if your advertisement budget isn't upping your numbers, why are you spending? How could you sit down in a boardroom and tell board person who doesn't play Magic, why are you doing this? Because we used to. That's why those things probably end.
Well, sorry.
Oh no, go. What have you
like, I will say, like, if we're talking like cold business calculus here, like stopping all financial support for it also creates a situation with the people that are likely to rise to that status where they're associated with your company are less likely to be saying things that you as a business don't want to be said.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, and I think Kibler made a post. Kibler had a couple. Brian Kibler's in a couple tweets. One of the tweets was just pointing out that like it's never been easy to be a pro, and if you want to make money on Magic, yeah, you're not. I don't think it's the pros that do it. It's the streamers. So now you might be a streamer who's great, and if you can make your streamer, your YouTube persona, your Twitch streamer be about how I'm going to make it to this tournament, and then you can all watch me. That's probably a viable way to do it. But you can also do it of I'm going to be fun and make wacky decks. So like Saffron Olive doing weird brews on Arena and online might be the actual way to make a living off of Magic instead of I'm going to Ash catch him through this and be the very best that no one ever was. It's like I just don't. I love Magic. I just don't see like the best player needs to not have. Like, we're starting to get into weird things here about money and work, but it does not bother me that you can't be a full-time professional pro Magic player. I don't need that in my game to care about my game.
Sure.
That's just me.
Like, I also feel like that's kind of a dated concept. Like, I feel like, for example, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't already exist, like the show, and somebody was like, hey, let's do this. Like, I feel like it would not have traction today. Like, I feel like that dream of being like the world champion of a game and that being like a path to acclaim and like fortune, it's a ghost of the 90s.
I mean, new player, board games and video games and all of this like D&D, like all of this is big. And so all of the current focus in tabletop is come together, spend time with your friends, and like Commander, 4-player, boom, boom, boom. It's not like, no, come play this game. You could be the best. You could make $50,000. No, I couldn't. I think everybody has also realized it's like, no, I couldn't.
Right, but what I can do is I can make it our game night.
Yeah, and honestly, this is also just a shift in people. I'm going to be I've heard some statistics that Zoomers, the most sought after, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? YouTube personality is job number one. So it's not professional athlete or movie star; it's internet famous. And so saying, "Oh, go ahead, JC."
It just makes me wonder, like, because capitalism finds a way. So if Wizards isn't supporting people, and I know that I imagine there was always like some of this going on anyway. Does this create like esports kind of sponsorship kind of stuff? Like here's who's it's playing on playing sponsored by Star City Games or whatever.
I mean, Star City Circuit was a little bit like that. Like, they didn't sponsor individual players, but they created a circuit to compete in. But honestly, I think, I don't think the best player, and like when you're the best player, it doesn't matter if you're fun or funny. People are supposed to care about you because you're the best. But now you need to be a personality. And that seems to be what the younger generation wants and aspires to. So yeah, I would see, like, if I'm a company, if I'm Ultra Pro, do I go, Gabriel Nassif takes a million years to play, but he's good at Magic. I'll make him my sponsor person. Or do I go for the biggest Magic streamer who has the hugest views and say, hey, want to wear an Ultra Pro shirt? Because I feel like option 2 is going to make you more money.
Well, and it's not just that. It's not just that. So, like, that previous era where it's like, I just want who's the best, their personality be damned. Like, granted, being, like, an internet personality has its own toxic miasma that surrounds it. I don't want to undersell that. It is a whole ass thing. But like that mindset of well, they're good, they're the best, everything else be damned, is a breeding ground for toxic bullshit.
I mean, it's like even like just not even having to name Magic names, like the quintessential like Chet, was it Bobby Fischer? It's like
that's who Freddie in chat in like the musical chess, which what a weird reference. Like you would know that, but that's who Freddie in chess was based off of because he was an asshole.
No, I mean this is not me to call out Magic pros are assholes, and a lot of the famous Magic pros are like Reed Duke, the people who are the good guy, the interesting fun people,
gentlemen.
Yeah, so but it's Yeah, I think when you like, I think in the '90s when you say it's a, and it's not like in the '90s you could be you could easily like be a be the best chess or Magic whatever player. But when we were growing up in the '90s, that's what we wanted to be. And I think it is a huge shift that Zoomers don't want to be the best; they want to have the following. And like that's not it's not like, oh,
so different.
say again.
I don't know that it's so different. Like,
Compared to celebrities, I'd say no, because internet famous and movie famous aren't wildly different. But like sports star compared to Twitch streamer, I think that is a shift. It's not about being the best; it's about being the most interesting.
well, no, it's all about like what your culture values as like admirable, and being like, and having clout is a I think like a power that's envied, just like skill is a power that's envied.
Okay, I mean, maybe it's fair to say that in previous generations, clout was more about could be more about skill, where now clout is more about different things. So it's all clout, but it's the way one might acquire said clout is different. I don't know, we're getting into some weird territory here, but
Social currency.
any final thoughts on this before we wrap the show?
Yeah, I'm I don't take this as like the opportunity to play Magic at a high level and like get and win prize money and have that be a cool thing in your life is I don't take this as that is over forever. I do take this as like we recognize that like online is a thing and COVID was a thing and we want to focus on playing in person and the things that people watch and the things that people care about, and the way that we organize tournaments wasn't really the best before, so we want to make it new. And I guess I just don't take it as like super doom and gloom.
Oh God. Not to be too doom and gloom, but I do think the future of paper Magic is secret layers and Commander, and the future of competitive Magic is through Arena.
Yeah,
Stop.
I don't disagree with that, and just to say something, to speak to something you said, JC. I mean, I think that they did stress in the release that paper is important. I'm curious to see, yeah, if you might be correct if they're just saying that, how accurate it's going to be. It is still real cheap to make Magic cards, even if you have to print them. But I think something also to keep in mind, and just to agree with that, I also do not see this as doom and gloom. Is this doesn't mean you can't go to a GP or whatever replaces GP and win $3,000 or win 4 boxes or whatever. That's still probably achievable if you want to put your mind to it. The 12 people who were trying to make a career from this probably can't, but that's like 12 people. So like, and we also, those are the 12 people we go to listen to when Wizards makes these announcements. And I'm not here to say screw them, but it just doesn't really affect that many people. It just doesn't. It just affects the people we pay attention to. So it seems more important than maybe it is. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too dismissive, but that's kind of my takeaway, I guess.
Sometimes issues that affect a smaller group of people are a litmus test for larger trends and issues within any decision making body.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But also sometimes things that just affect a few people, and they're just the mouthpiece, so it seems bigger. So like,
Okay.
it can be a microcosm, but also this change will affect the day-to-day life of almost no one.
Yeah, so do like trans bills, anti-trans bills and shit.
True, and and so I don't want to say that. I want
Not that I'm like drawing a direct comparison between those.
I was like, that's a real line.
Yeah,
right. Like as a trans woman, I absolutely understand that there's a difference between those two things. But the fact that it affects a small group of people is not on its own an indication that it's a non-issue. I guess that's my point.
This only affects a small group of incredibly privileged people.
I would say it disproportionately affects people among that group who don't have as much respected privilege, like who don't have the economic or social ability to like go around with it. Like I think it affects. I think that what's a good way to put this? Like there are folks for this change will make absolutely no difference because they have enough like money and clout and resources and everything anyway to continue upon their lives. Among that group, it is still disproportionately affecting people of color, women, queer folks. Like, it's like every single thing, it's going to affect those groups more.
Yeah, that's fair. No, it's yeah, this is just so weird. Because I don't think you're wrong, but this is such a small group of people we're talking about, too. So it's like 4 people. I mean, like that. I don't. It's just. I mean, it's just so small, and like, I don't know. I just. I don't know. No.
I'll have to see what the new system holds too.
Sure.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's also hard to judge based on no new information.
I think the new system's probably going to be very bare bones, almost non-existent, and I think we're just going to need to accept that like the future of competitive Magic is through Arena.
And I personally don't know if that is a bad thing, honestly.
No, I don't disagree. Like, if they fucking stop putting events as the wrong deck type.
Yeah, that wasn't a good look. Anyway, we should wrap up. We're running long. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. So either that'll be Thursday, June 3rd, or whenever it's posted on YouTube. For our last show before we go on a extended hiatus. So yeah, that'll be then. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. Have a good one, everybody. Stay safe, and make sure to remember who you are.